What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse JLA wave with a Build-A-Figure Plastic Man. So this is a pretty cool wave. So we get 4 figures here from the JLA that are more based off the 90s looks for these characters, so that is pretty cool. So first off, we have Superman, or the blue Superman, so that looks pretty cool with this blue outfit. Of course, I'll go into the story about more like this specifically, which is cool. And we were also able to get the red version, so we do have the red and blue versions of Superman, which is pretty cool. And then of course they come with the Plastic Man pieces, so we get like the body and stuff there. Then we've got Batman, which looks cool. Of course, this Batman body looks like one we've had before, but it's just cool that he's in the all black with the yellow detail, so it looks more like that 89 version of Batman, but this was more of his look from the later 90s, so that's cool. Then behind them we do have Aquaman, so really cool to have this Aquaman where he has more of like the missing hand with now the harpoon there and everything, so that Aquaman looks awesome. And then finally we have the John Stewart version, Green Lantern, so very cool to have him as well. Of course, with all our pieces there to build Plastic Man, which will be awesome. So we have the 5 figures then to look at there. So I'm excited to check these out. So let me get them open out of the box, build Plastic Man, and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with Superman, or the blue version of Superman. So red and blue Superman was from 1998, where Superman got caught in a trap by Cyborg Superman, and it caused him to split into 2 beings, each with different aspects of his personality, where blue was more cerebral and preferred to think his way out of situations and problem solve, where red was more rash and preferred to take action over taking the time to think. But preceding this, Superman had lost his ability to absorb the power from the sun, so his powers began to shift to energy-based, meaning that he could manipulate electromagnetic energy as well as turn himself into pure electricity. So he wore a containment suit, or the blue suit, that would allow him to control his powers. And then, like I said, then he split into the red and blue. So overall, looks pretty cool here with this blue design. As I said, it's more of like electricity based power. So again, adding with the blue with the electricity and lightning kind of carries over some of the design. So you can see with like the white lines, it's got, some of the like bolt effects onto it, especially his S on his chest, as well as looks, sort of more lightning boltish and everything. So that's all pretty cool. Love the blue design. So we have mostly all blue bodies, like a blue spandex going from the feet all the way up with the white over the top. So we get the white like lightning bolts down the legs, coming on a little bit onto his underwear piece, on the shoulders as well. So it comes down the arms, up his shoulders there, connecting with the S. So all white in there. Even has the S on his back. And then we get the headpiece that comes up around his head. So that nice like 90s design looks cool, with his hair also sticking out the top, flowing there, all swept back with blue on top of it, and then his all blue skin and wide eyes, so looks pretty cool there as well. So such an awesome look for Superman. Kind of weird now the ordinary just being in these specific colors, but it still looks cool. Now, moon-wise, we do get the head that'll twist all the way around. You can look down that far and up the far. So pretty good for a Superman, pretty close to a flying pose there, which is nice. The shoulders come up to 90 with the butterfly and rotate around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that'll bend up pretty much all the way off on itself there, with the wrist that'll twist around and hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch that'll crunch back and forth, so crunch forward a little and crunch back more, so crunch and twist around. Then we go to the abs, will crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. Then down to the hips can come up to 90, and out to the side he can do the splits. We get a little bit of a thigh twist in there, and the double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back. Not too bad for him. All the way down to the foot that'll flex back and forth, can twist side to side, and has the toe joint on the end. So pretty good movements, has the standard McFarlane joints once again, so nothing new or out of the ordinary, but has pretty good range with those. Now, as I mentioned, he did split into the red and blue, and as I showed you, we do have the red version as well that we were able to get. So there we have the red and blue versions of Superman, which both look pretty cool there. And accessory wise, this does go for both of them because they just share all the exact same stuff. He does come with some lightning effects we can stick on him, so we get some of this more clearish color lightning effects we can put obviously like on his arms and legs. But as I always say, I can't stand this sort of design for him. I hate the way these look, hate trying to get them on him and everything, so I won't do that. But you do have those lightning effects, which I like that they come with stuff, adds details and stands out. But I just think the ones they designed specifically don't work out too well. Of course, he comes with the base that we can put him on. And finally, we get his card, which unfortunately we don't have anything real specific for it. We just have a picture of Superman from the JLA, which has a nice stylized design, which, speaking of that, we do also have the Superman from that picture. So it's the one with the longer hair, mullet design, and the bigger, buffer body. So we do have that figure as well that this goes with. So they should have included it with that figure instead of these two. But on the back of it, it just got the standard story of Superman. So all these have pretty much their just standard regular stories. So we won't read through any of those, but you can read that there if you want. But just just got the generic Superman story. So overall, it's pretty cool to have these figures. Love the blue design, love the red, although it just stinks that the red is a platinum and hard to get, but thankfully we were able to find one and look pretty cool here together. So from that storyline of the red and blue, we were able to get both of them. So both look really cool, but unfortunately with these looks, they don't really fit into any collection or anything, so we'll be going on a shelf, but they look really cool. And next up we have Batman, which looks nice in this all black design. So this is based more off the Troika storyline in 1995 that introduces Batman back following the Nightfall storyline, where he now wears an all black bat suit made of Kevlar, and it's designed after the Tim Burton films. So with that, it does look really cool because it's always, always love the all black with the yellow that stands out on it. Looks really cool to have this. Of course, this figure is a complete reuse. I'll show you that figure. We've had it before, obviously, but looks pretty nice just in the all black design. Of course, the black cowl and cape. Now, I did also notice this has a blue wash on it, which is kind of weird. So we do have blue like on this side of the head. I assume you can see that in the camera there, where the other side is just completely all black. So it's weird. It's got a blue wash. So it's on his cowl, his gloves as well. You can see some of the blue there, and on the boots. So like on the front of the boots. So it's weird they just put it on like those pieces. So that is pretty weird, but I guess they wanted to do it, just trying to create the look that when I show you the card, it kind of looks like. But the all black, like I said, Kevlar armor. So we get the all black down the arms and legs. We got black on the gauntlets and gloves and the boots as well. And then we get the striking yellow bat logo there on his chest with the black bat. Looks really nice, and the yellow belt to go along with it. So all of it just looks pretty cool. Like I said, I really like the design. I just don't understand why they put the blue on top of it. But movement-wise, we do get that'll twist all the way around. It can look down that far and up that far, so not bad for Batman. Doesn't look up the best, but looks down really far, which is nice. We get the shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly, of course, with the cape. Doesn't move too much, but it can rotate around within there. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow, which is pretty stiff and can bend up that far, which is nice. Of course, the wrist will twist all the way around and hinge wherever the split is. So there it is, back and forth. Then we get the ab crunch, so just under the chest, so it can crunch back and forth, which barely, it's just very little movement, and can twist there side to side. And then, of course, down at the waist, we can crunch more and twist all the way around. Then we go down to the hips that come up there, pretty close to 90, doesn't seem all the way, but out to the side, doing the splits. We do get the thigh twist just a little bit, and the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, pretty much kicking himself in the butt, and down to the foot that'll flex back and forth a little, obviously because of the boot design. Doesn't move all the way, but a little bit back and forth, can twist side to side, and has the toe joint on the end. So again, pretty standard movements, and especially for Batman, and since we've had this figure before, but it works out pretty nice, just a little bit of stiffness in some of the joints. But accessory wise, the only thing he comes with is the bat grapple. So we've seen bat grapples like this multiple times before. So we have that we can put into his hand, as well as the base we can put him on. And we get the card, again, Batman from the JLA, that matches with that Superman. And there, like I said, you can kind of see as some like the blue highlights. It looks more like white or grayish on here, but should be like blue. So I assume that's what they were trying to do with this, but obviously didn't carry out the look perfectly, but looks nice. And then again, on the back, exact same, just generic story for a Batman. So if you want to read that, you can, but it's the same thing we've read multiple times before. And as I mentioned, we've had this Batman before, so it's just a reuse of this Batman figure, just painted all black this time, and then of course has that weird blue highlight. But yeah, just complete reuse of this older Batman figure, which, like I said, looks nice overall. I love it in the all black with the yellow, just stands out. I just don't like how it has the blue. It's too noticeable to me, so I don't like it as much, but just having the all black Batman like this is really cool. And next up we have Aquaman, which took this look beginning in 1994 when Aquaman had withdrawn from the world, found weeks later with long hair and beard. He lost his left arm after sticking it in a piranha-infested pool, so it was replaced with a cybernetic harpoon prosthetic with a retractable reel on it. But his classic orange shirt got destroyed in a fight with Lobo, so he began wearing a gladiatorial manica that covered most of his right pec and arm. So it looks pretty cool here. Love this design for Aquaman. Of course, it's like one of those classic 90s designs, but absolutely love it. Of course, we get the face that looks almost like reuse. We'll have to compare it with our other Aquaman, but for the most part, it looks reuse, except for it looks like we get some hair that comes down. It's a little more like flowing hair, but looks nice with the blonde beard coming down, all that. So everything looks good. Of course, just hate that he's like looking up a little bit, so too much looking up in the eye design. Of course, mostly shirtless. As I said, he lost his orange shirt, but he does wear the manica, so just pretty much armor that goes on his right pec and then down the arm a little bit. Doesn't fully cover the arm, but covers most of it. So just like some metal covering up his arm. arm. And then we have modified Aquaman pants, so we still have the belt around the waist with the Aquaman logo. A lot of black to it this time, so it's still the exact same design figure-wise that we've had before. So mostly all black, but then has some green down the sides with some fish scaling on it there. Still has the fin there on the back, and all that's the same. And then, as I mentioned, he lost his arm, so he now has this harpoon arm, which looks pretty cool. And as I said, it's got retractable, so you can like shoot it out and then it reels back in and all that. So that is pretty cool, but because of that, we don't get any trident or anything since it uses that as a weapon now. But overall, this is just a cool look for Aquaman. But moonwise, we get his head that will twist around. Thought the hair would be an issue, but it just goes around there. And you can look down that far and then up just about that far. So not bad for the head movements. The shoulders come up to 90, of course, with that butterfly and rotate around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow. That again was pretty stiff, but can bend up that far. With the wrist that'll twist all the way around and can hinge up and down. We get the ab crunch, so crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. And then at the waist, crunch and twist all the way around. Then down to the hips that can come up to 90, out to the side, can do the splits, has a bit of a thigh twist in there. The double knee joint that'll bend up that far the back. Again, the fin's hitting the leg, so it could go further, but that fin's in the way. And then the foot could flex back and forth, twist side to side, and has the toe joint on the end. So good movements once again, especially on a thinner body like this where he gets better range overall. Now, as I mentioned, he doesn't come with a trident because he has the harpoon on his hand now. So the only thing this figure comes with is the base and the card. So there's a nice picture of him again from that same JLA picture. So it looks pretty cool with him there. You can of course see the metal there on his shoulder and all that. So that's pretty cool. And again, on the back, same story for Aquaman with Arthur Curry there. So nothing new or more particular pertaining to this version of Aquaman, but just the same storyline. And then as I mentioned, this is pretty much just a reuse of this past figure, so it looks like they switched up the head design, so the head looks much better on this newer version, but you can see just complete reuse of this body, obviously except for the chest, giving it the bare chest this time with the armor down it, where he's got the old classic orange shirt on this one. So very similar designs and everything overall, but obviously you can see that transition from that old Aquaman to this version now, and this one just looks so much cooler. And then for our last main figure of the wave, we get the John Stewart version of Green Lantern, which he first appeared in Green Lantern number 87 in 1972. After Guy Gardner was seriously injured, the Guardians of the Universe decided there needed to be a backup Green Lantern, so they chose the architect John Stewart, and Hal Jordan was resistant at first, but complied with the Guardians' orders to recruit John and give him the standard Green Lantern uniform and powering, but he refused to wear the domino mask. So again, this is based more off like his first appearance, and I'll show you that with the picture. Not much from the JLA design like the others are from the 90s, so I don't really understand why they made him different and made him look, like I said, more like his first appearance, but it's still cool to have him. Looks pretty nice with this design, of course, with like his outfit where it's got more of like the stitching material design, looks like a sweater or something. Looks very similar to the other characters we've had before, like especially like the Kyle Rayners we've had in this design more recently, but overall looks cool. So there we got his face. Of course he is black, so he's got the black skin tone with the more afro looking design. Now in the pictures his hair looks more poofy, but they did add some poof to it, which is nice overall. And then we have his Green Lantern outfit again. This is just like the labeled the standard Green Lantern outfit. So it has the classic logo, so Green Lantern, where it's got more of this circle to it or curve to it to fit inside the circle, which looks nice. Then it's mostly all green with black on the sides and arms, white gloves and green boots with the black pants and green underwear there. So pretty just basic design, doesn't look bad or horrible or anything, just an early Green Lantern design, which I do like having this, so it'd be nice to have all the Green Lanterns and like these early designs to like match up and everything, but still I think looks pretty good. Now movement-wise, we do get that'll twist all the way around. You can look down that far and up that far, so pretty good movements in the head there. We have the shoulders that come up to 90 with the butterfly and rotate around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that'll bend all the way up on itself. We get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and hinge up and down for this hand. Then we get the ab crunch, that'll crunch back and forth and twist around. And then of course at the waist, crunch and twist around. The hips will come up to close to 90, up to 90, and out to the side, can almost do the splits. Has a bit of a thigh twist and the double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back, not far from kicking his butt. All the way down to the foot that'll flex back and forth, twist side to side, and has the toe joint on the end. So overall works out pretty well. Again, nice, easier movements, and of course without all the armor or anything like it getting in the way, it gets pretty good range. Now accessory wise, he does come with some extra hand accessories. So first we get this effect that I assume can just go onto his hand. I'd probably put on the hand with the lantern ring, so get the lantern ring on there. So probably with this on, so it's like a swirl effect coming off of it. So it's hard to really tell exactly how to get it on his hand, but there it looks more like some construct is coming out of his ring now, which is cool. And then we also get this other effect, which is just like this big swipe effect. I don't know, obviously we try and put it on the same hand there, but we can just put it on this other one for now. So it just has this big effect coming off of it. Again, don't know what it's supposed to be or what it's supposed to serve as or anything, so not exactly sure, but we have that additional effect as well. He also comes with the base plate as usual, so we'll put him on. We also get his card, so there's of course there's like first appearance design for it, so that's kind of like the effect that's supposed to go on his hand there with him with Hal Jordan. So looks pretty nice overall, you know, pretty similar design wise for that. And then of course the back, just the normal John Stewart. Again, we've read this before, so don't need to read again, but it's there if you want it. And of course we've had more modern designs John Stewart, so here is the more modern looking John Stewart compared to his more original first appearance design. So that's pretty cool to now have this more classic design of John Stewart Green Lantern. And finally, we have our Build-A-Figure of Plastic Man, whose real name is Patrick O'Brien. He was formerly a small-time criminal known as Eel O'Brien, and he was trying to rob a chemical company with his gang when police arrived. He was shot at and exposed to an acid. When he woke up, he found that his flesh had become elastic, and he decided to use his new powers to become a crime fighter. So he put some of the chemical on a circus outfit so that it could stretch with his body, and he became known as Plastic Man. And so for his powers, he has the power of elasticity, size alteration, shape shifting, as well as super strength and immortality. So overall, he looks pretty cool with this design. So of course here we just have him in his normal like standard body, so it looks pretty much just like a regular guy. So we get his face there with the glasses on, which look pretty nice. Love how it's got some sort of like shadowing design to it there, or reflecting, I mean. So it looks pretty nice with the nice 2D smile. Again, it's got the weird smile. We've had issues in the past with the Superman figures, but I don't think it looks horrible there. Still not the best, but looks better than the Superman have had. And then we get his hair that's sort of up and over to the side with the sideburns coming down, and the mixture of the sideburns and the sunglasses kind of reminds me of an Elvis design to him. But then we can see his chest coming down, so a nice like V-shape outfit design going almost down to his waist, and then he's naked on his legs all the way down to the feet there, and then the bare hands with the circus outfit as it said with the red design. So we get this red spandexy outfit on, and I love how it's got the V-shape down to the back as well with the red underwear with the like belt design on it, and then the red coming up on his arms and shoulders there with some cross ties between to help hold the outfit on. So overall, it's a weird design, but it looks pretty cool, especially for Plastic Man. But we can do his movement, so his head will twist all the way around. You look down that far and up that far, so a little bit of nice movements there back and forth. We get the shoulders that come up to 90 with the butterfly and rotate around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow that'll bend up that far, so again all the way up on itself. We get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and hinge back and forth. We get the ab crunch, so the cutout there, crunch back and forth and twist all the way around, and then at the waist crunch and twist all the way around. Then down to the hips, that'll come up there. If you kind of stretch it up to 90 and out to the side, he can do the splits. We get a little bit of a thigh twist, much less on him than any of the past figures. We get the double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back, not far from kicking his butt. And then we get the foot that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So good movements overall. I know the standard McFarlane movements, so nothing out of the ordinary there. He does just have a weird neck design, so it's got the head similar to like what the Batman figure had, but there's just so much gap around it, and the way it's designed is kind of weird on a real thin peg, so you gotta be careful with that not to break it. Now obviously he doesn't come with any accessories, but as you saw with the figures in the box, we do get some effects for his stretching powers, so went ahead and just put him on this extra body. Since for the red Superman body design, we put the arms and head on there, so we get the stretchy head as well as the stretchy arms, so you just get a stretchy arm, you know, very similar we've seen with like Mr. Fantastic and everything. Just a stretchy arm there, so a long stretched out arm, and then the other arm is stretched out and looped around, so it's got a loop so you can sort of put it around a figure like he's captured them with his hand tied around it, so that's pretty cool. And then his head is just sort of stretched up, so it comes up with a little curve around, making a funny face there as well. So obviously we could put any of these on this figure as well if we wanted to, so that is awesome. He comes with those additional effects, so obviously you can put any of those stretchy powers on this figure to have him however you want there. I do kind of like the loop hand or the stretched out hand and stuff. The head looks a little too weird. I like the face design, but the stretched out neck is kind of awkward for me. But more than likely I would just put this version of Plastic Man just because it takes up a lot less space, so this would probably be what I would use. Well, that's it for our DC Multiverse JLA wave with the Build-A-Figure of Plastic Man, where we got the blue Superman, and then of course I also got the platinum red Superman. Then we got Batman, Aquaman, and John Stewart Green Lantern. Pretty cool to get these figures, and like I said, they're more 90s designs. Awesome to get Plastic Man as well with all his stretchy effects and all that. So a pretty cool wave overall, I must say. But let me know what you thought of this wave down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with that thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.